I asked you a question here in the last couple of weeks concerning how many of the current class between Florida State, and Miami were being battled upon between at least two of those schools.
Yeah.
James Miller makes a comment here. I don't know what he was responding. It could have been to your answer of that question. He says, let's be clear. When Miami and Florida State went head-to-head in recruiting, Florida State won more times than not. I don't know how far he's going back with that statement, but
I mean, I think he's talking about this class, but like, I know that we were after Hakeem Williams and that didn't shake. Hussey and Joseph. I mean, we were recruiting like, okay, Hussey more than Joseph, but like Joseph was on the board, but like we didn't really go all in. And then if you look at it, like we got, I mean, Hussey, that was one that we probably wanted more. Just because he's, a better prospect and better player. But like, I mean, this is kind of almost like years ago, I wrote a piece about Miami recruiting versus Alabama. And then we talked about the numbers between those two teams at that time. But the other caveat is there's a whole class of player that the other team is recruiting that we can't even talk to, that won't even return our messages. Right. So like, even if that were true, and I don't believe it to be true, like, let's just run down the list of players that Florida State couldn't even get a call back from. Francis Mauagoa, Jaden Wayne, Riley Williams. Like, that's three of your top, Samson Okunlola. That's four of your top 5 recruits in this class. Then you lost out on number 5, well, the 5th of that group would be Ruben Bain. And then he says no. Like, Ray Joseph, no. You know what I mean? Robert Stafford, no. Like, the list goes on and on of guys that, like, even if you try to recruit them, they're doing like, you have a fight with a family member and your phone kind of, and you're like, man, anyways, they, like, half of our class did that to y'all. So, like, even if, and again, like, I would have to really look at it. And so, like, apart from those 3, I mean, like, maybe it is a Florida State 3, Miami 2 in head-to-head this year. But then talk about the 12 that y'all wanted and would definitely take on your roster who paid you dust that signed with Miami. Like, that also factors into it.
At some point during the offseason, and we've got plenty of time, I would like to start a series, and we've done this in the past, where we go through the recruiting classes and we go back in time, and we would start with, let's say, 21, which obviously there's only 2 seasons in the books for those guys, but kind of chart and restack and reevaluate and re-rank those guys and see who came through and who was a big bust.
Look, I'm going to tell you this before we even do that. Cam Kinchins is all the way up at the top. Even with 2 5-stars in that class, I'm telling you right now, wherever he was in that group, number 24, wearing the Underwood family number, hey, all the way to the top.